Closing cost. So depending upon where you're buying, closing costs can vary. So in DC, if you're a first time home buyer, it can be anywhere, from, 3% to 4 or even 4.5%. If it's a lower sales price, closing costs on a percentage basis are going to be a bit higher, especially if you're buying a condo. An appraisal is going to cost about $500 on a $200,000 of the property. It's also going to cost about $500 on a $500,000 of the property. So on a percentage basis, the $200,000 property is going to have a higher percentage of closing costs because a lot of the costs are fixed. The settlement company's fees, it's going to be the same on $200,000 as it is $500,000. So depending upon where you're buying, will dictate, and what kind of property you're buying will dictate the percentage of cost you're actually paying. For our North Carolina client, North Carolina is going to be significantly cheaper as far as closing cost than it is in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. North Carolina doesn't have any transfer and recordation taxes imposed to the buyer, whereas DC, Maryland, and Virginia do. So the biggest portion of your closing costs are going to be in DC, Maryland, and Virginia, going to be transfer and recordation taxes. So just like everything else, real estate's going to have some sort of sales tax, and in real estate, it's called transfer and recordation taxes. So if you're a first-time buyer buying in Montgomery County, that's going to be somewhere, around 0.8 to 1%, depending upon your sales price. In DC, it's going to be somewhere, between 0.725 and 1.45% of the sales price, depending upon income and whether you're a first-time buyer. Prince George's County, it's going to be a little over 1%. And Virginia, it's going to be a little bit cheaper. It's going to be, somewhere in that 0.7% range.